I used to believe we were burning on the edge of something beautiful, something beautiful. Selling a dream, smoking mirrors keep us waiting on a miracle, on a miracle. Stay go through the darkest of days, having some heartbreak away. Never let you go, never let me down.
If you've been thinking about beachfront property or mountain views, this is the video for you. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Look at this, it's awesome. Of course, we do not have this in Colorado. The reason why I'm making this video is not completely random. Both Colorado Springs and Kauai have both been on the top 5 destinations of the best places to live in the last 10 years. In fact, I'll never forget last time I was in Kauai, I got back home and Colorado Springs was #1 and Kauai was #2. And I thought, whew, gosh, how can you even compare the two? So that's what we're gonna do. So the biggest thing that I want to dive into is the culture, because as I dove into both of these towns, I was really surprised to see what I saw on the Hawaii side. When comparing Hawaii and Colorado Springs, these two destinations offer completely different lifestyles. Hawaii is all about tropical island living, warm ocean breezes, beaches, and year-round temperatures that typically stay between 75 and 85 degrees. Colorado Springs, on the other hand, sits over 6,000 feet above sea level at the base of the Rocky Mountains and gives you all 4 seasons, lower humidity, snowy winters, and over 300 days of sunshine each year. Hawaii has a statewide population of about 1.4 million people spread across multiple islands, while Colorado Springs alone has around 500,000 residents and continues to grow rapidly thanks to military, aerospace, healthcare, and tech industries. One of the biggest differences is cost of living. Hawaii is one of the most expensive places in America, with median home prices often near or above $1 million depending on the island, while Colorado Springs averages closer to the $500,000 range. Groceries, utilities, gas, and dining are also significantly more expensive in Hawaii because almost everything has to be shipped to the islands. Colorado Springs offers a much stronger balance between income and affordability, especially for remote workers and families relocating from more expensive states. Schools are another major factor families consider. Colorado Springs is known for having several highly rated school districts, strong charter school options, and a large variety of public and private education choices throughout the city and surrounding suburbs. Hawaii has some excellent schools as well, especially certain private schools and districts on Oahu, but because Hawaii operates under one statewide public school system, many families feel they have fewer choices compared to Colorado. Lifestyle is another major difference. Colorado Springs is known for hiking, skiing, mountain biking, camping, and outdoor adventure in the mountains, while Hawaii is centered around surfing, snorkeling, boating, beaches, and ocean activities. Colorado Springs feels active, fast-growing, and career-focused, while Hawaii offers a slower-paced, laid-back island culture, often referred to as island time. Both places are incredibly beautiful, but they deliver 2 completely different versions of paradise, one built around mountain living and 4 seasons, and the other around tropical beaches and endless summer weather. Wow, what a week. So my wife and I are just finishing up a week-long amazing vacation. Actually, some old clients of mine that have turned into dear friends were so kind enough as to invite us out here, let us stay with them for free. So that's how we got to make this vacation happen, and we are extremely grateful for it. So let's jump into pricing. I don't want to bombard you with all these numbers and everything. I'd rather just give it to you straight. If you want a single family home here with a 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a decent lot, I would say you're looking at least $1 million. For the nicer ones are $2.5 million. These are not luxury homes. This is kind of your nicer single family home. The folks that we are staying with, they are shopping for a single family home, and that's how I got those numbers. 3-bedroom, 2-bath on a decent amount of property, and I just mean like a half acre. An acre would be amazing, but just a little bit of space in between neighbors. Around $2.2 million is where we're finding the sweet spot for a lot of those properties. Now switch over to Colorado Springs. $2.2 million gets you a lot. And just to show you that, we're gonna jump over and take a look at a listing of mine. Two kitchens, a hidden pantry, 2.6 acre lot. This one is different. Be the first to experience this remarkable home, offering 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and 2 of the nicest kitchens you will find in any home. From the integrated panel-covered appliances to the rare and natural quartzite stone you will find throughout the home, including this beautiful waterfall island. Every finish was thoughtfully selected. And take a look at this hidden pantry with double ovens and espresso machine. This is one of my favorite features, is this extended stay suite. You have your own wet bar, ensuite bathroom, and private patio access. This new build really does define luxury. We're in basement kitchen number 2 with the same quartzite countertops that you see on the main floor. This lower level is filled with natural light and offers multiple walkouts to private patio spaces, making it perfect for entertaining or multi-generational living. And bring your toys to fill up this 48-foot garage. You really need to see this in person to appreciate the details. This is a masterpiece of thoughtful design finished with luxury craftsmanship. Feel free to contact me for a private tour. This is Casey Fortune at Fortune Realty. So I would say for most families, especially if you have children, you really have to have a $2 million budget to move over here. And it's so interesting to go through and talk to the locals at coffee shops. Even the surfers talk to me, which I was so surprised because I heard, oh, the surfers are so mean and they'll just kick you off the beach and stuff. We sat there yesterday. You can see some of this footage here. And as these guys were coming in the water, they were excited to see me. I was texting them videos I took of them. They're telling me about, you know, a little bit about their culture and their work. And I've kind of determined there's 3 types of people that you will find on this island. Some that are just independently wealthy at a young age. They've made it, they've got a remote job, and they can afford these homes. Honestly, the others are probably your trust fund kids that they just have a lot of money, so they can come out here. And I don't know where it comes from. I can't identify with those folks. I am not one, but they can afford these $1 million homes. In fact, one of the surfers, when he came out of the water, he said, yeah, I live right up there in that house. And I looked up, I didn't ask him what he did for a living because I didn't want to be too intrusive. And he pointed at like a $3 million home. So I'm going to guess he's either brilliant, made a ton of money, or a trust fund kid, because the other type, and this is mostly what I found, is people squeeze into this island. They live in houses that are really small, gosh, like anywhere from 600 square feet, 1,200, 1,500. And as you drive by, you'll see like 6 vehicles parked in front of these smaller homes. And so many of them have additions because there are like 10 people living in them. There's one local woman here that my friends met at church, and they had no idea. This woman invited them to her house, and she's living in somebody's garage. So majority of this island, most of them are working like 2 or 3 jobs. The biggest takeaway of comparing the two is the culture. I was really surprised to see that the culture on this island is not the friendliest. I don't know how another way to put it. I actually reached out to a local realtor. She was happy to help me out with a YouTube video. I said, why don't you have your own channel? I looked up here, I said, there's not much online at all. She said the locals don't like it. The locals do not like people making these videos to showcase the beauty this island has to offer. Generations of their family have helped protect it, preserve it, and they're doing everything they can to live here. However, that does bring a really extreme part of the culture that I was really surprised to see. And eventually I was like, it's not worth it. We don't need to make this video, and you hope that no locals see it, because she told me a story about one of her friends who's a realtor who started making a lot of, sell Kauai videos and all this stuff. They pulled her license out of pure politics. And that's just one of the story that I thought, that is so extreme, because I even had the thought of, gosh, could I move out here and make all these Kauai videos and start selling homes out here and live here in paradise? Well, the answer, she said, is no. Most likely the locals would have that information. Well, they would kind of kick me out of the community. So that's the biggest difference, and that's what I did not know, that it could be that extreme here in Kauai. And also what I'm learning is it's the same on most of the islands. In fact, somebody told me the other islands are even more extreme. You have lots of diversity here. We really don't have much in Colorado Springs. Here's the information you've been waiting for. The most shocking thing that I found out here are the HOA fees. As we were shopping, I was shopping with my friends to see what prices were for condominiums, because that's, of course, the more affordable choice if you want a second home out here to come out and obviously spend your winters here, and that's a lot of people's goals. So the prices for a good condo, and these are 2-bedroom, 2-bath, maybe some 3-bedroom, I would say start around $1.4 million. Of course, there's always exceptions going up or down, but that's for a nice one that looks great. But here's the kicker. Some of those come with $1,000. Some went all the way up to almost $3,000 a month for an HOA fee. That means that if you go in and pay cash for this place, okay, you purchase cash for it, you own it, you still may have called a $2,000 monthly HOA fee, taxes, and then monthly upkeep. And the Airbnb market down here it's almost shut down. It's kind of a thing in the past. I don't want to convince you that you'll never be able to do that, but they've restricted it as much as possible, and I don't blame them, just because it was kind of getting out of control with Airbnbs. However, as far as the good old days where you could come down here and buy a house for $1 million and throw it up on Airbnb and make tons of money, I do think that ship has sailed. So it's a heads up. If you're looking through condos on Zillow or whatever website, be sure to scroll down and see what that HOA fee is, because a lot of those are doubling in the last 5 years. Those are one of the scariest things to me. I don't think I could ever buy a condo in an HOA, because you have absolutely no control. You get into a single family home and you eliminate that HOA and you're not here, gosh, I don't know how you would take care of that. But there are so many locals around here that'd probably be more than happy to help. You're not gonna have to pay them $2,000 a month to do that. So that's the biggest shocker. Now, when it comes to $4, $5, $8 million, $10 million homes here in Hawaii, throughout the islands, we don't even have that kind of real estate. $4 million kind of caps out the majority of the luxury homes that you'll find in Colorado Springs, and those homes are incredible. They have so much to offer. Of course, you're going to give up the beachfront property. Something else about being on the beach, outside of just the stunning glory that you see around us, these are very high maintenance. I saw a few homes which I thought, how in the world has that house lasted that long? I mean, obviously we're at sea level here versus we're really 6,000 to 7,000 feet in the Colorado Springs area, but one rogue wave comes in and I feel like it can wipe these houses out. One awesome thing about Colorado Springs is, even though we have kind of the drier climate, the home maintenance doesn't even compare to what it does out here. Now let's get into HVAC, electricity. It's just more extreme in Hawaii as far as if they get a big storm, you're probably going to lose power. They do have some massive floods. My friends were here when they went through a flood. It was one of the worst floods they've had in 100 years or so. And they got, I believe, over 50 inches of rain over like 2 days. Unbelievable. These cow pastures were full of water, and unfortunately washing these buffalo out to the sea. It was wild. So compared to Colorado Springs, where some years we'll get around 14 inches for the entire year. So vast difference in how much moisture you get. And of course, that's what creates these incredible, all this greenery here. Some of these mountains go all the way up to 5,000 feet, obviously from sea level. And one of my favorite parts is I actually heard somebody ask, what's the elevation here, as we were standing on the beach? I believe that's called sea level. And I'm probably about 8 feet here above the beach. Thanks so much for checking out this video. If you have any questions about Kauai, I have some great real estate agents ready to help. I love to get calls where somebody says, I just finished watching your video. Do you have time for some more questions? If that's you, absolutely. I can never get all of the information out on these videos. This is Casey Fortune at Fortune Realty. Thank you so much for watching.